Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer because it's going to completely shift your clinical paradigm. For literally decades, we've been taught to treat skin conditions superficially, just scrubbing away at the surface. But today, we're throwing that out. We're moving away from the surface and diving deep into the internal metabolic pathways that actually dictate the health of our skin. We're talking sebum mechanics, the whole insulin cascade, and how targeted micronutrient therapy is basically a game changer.
So here's our game plan for today. 1. Anatomy of a blackhead. 2. Zinc and enzyme activation. 3. Insulin and androgen cascades. 4. Fatty liver and vitamin A. And finally, 5. The clinical dietary protocol. We're using a micro to macro approach today, starting right at the microscopic level of the pore and zooming way out to systemic hormonal cascades. Let's get to it.
All right, Section 1. Anatomy of a blackhead. Let's look at what's really happening right there on the surface. So what really causes a blackhead? It's a super fundamental question, especially if you're just dipping your toes into medical dermatology. Honestly, so many patients, and even a lot of practitioners, mistake these little dark spots for trapped dirt, poor hygiene, or like a bacterial infection. They just try to scrub them away with these incredibly harsh facial washes. But the real truth? It is entirely rooted in internal metabolic triggers. No amount of scrubbing is going to fix it.
The absolutely crucial thing to grasp here is that a blackhead isn't dirt at all. It's literally just trapped skin oil, sebum, that's undergone oxidation. If you're a beginner to the science of skin medicine, think of oxidation like this. It's a chemical reaction. You know when you leave an apple slice on the counter and it turns brown? Exactly the same thing is happening on your face. The pores open, that trapped oil hits the oxygen in the air, and boom, it oxidizes and turns dark. It's pure chemistry, not a hygiene problem.
Now check this out. What's really wild here is the sheer consistency of the data. Clinical studies show that literally every single individual, like a full 100% of people with chronic blackheads, exhibits elevated concentrations of a specific saturated fat in their skin. It's called palmitic acid. I mean, you know as well as I do, we almost never see 100% correlation in medicine. So when we do, we really need to pay attention to where this saturated fat is actually coming from.
Which brings us right to Section 2, zinc and enzyme activation. Let's figure out where this palmitic acid originates and how your body's enzymes are supposed to handle it.
So while you can get palmitic acid from foods like dairy or palm oil, the real culprits, the primary driver of this excess skin fat, is actually high sugar consumption. When a patient eats too many carbs, the liver basically says, all right, let's get to work, and directly manufactures palmitic acid through a biological process you might remember, hepatic de novo lipogenesis. But practically, it creates this massive surge of heavy fat that gets stuck right in the skin before it can actually be converted into anything useful.
And this visually illustrates the direct cause and effect relationship we're dealing with. Over on the left, you've got high refined sugar intake. That single dietary habit kicks palmitic acid production into overdrive, spikes your insulin, and completely tanks your internal zinc reserves. Because of all that internal chaos, you structurally guarantee what's happening on the right side: enlarged glands, rapid oil oxidation, and yep, those inevitable blackheads.
But wait, your body actually has a built-in defense mechanism against this. Under normal, healthy metabolic conditions, you have this highly specialized enzyme that comes in to clear out that heavy palmitic fat. It essentially converts it into a totally unique lipid that acts as your skin's very own natural antibiotic. It literally protects the pore from acne and localized inflammation. Pretty amazing, right?
There's a catch, though. This specialized enzyme can't just work on its own. It desperately needs vital cofactors to function. First up, zinc. Zinc is like the key in the ignition to activate this enzyme. If you're deficient, and let's be real, modern diets make this super common, the enzyme just stalls out. That makes blackheads a surprisingly reliable physiological biomarker for low zinc status. Plus, zinc regulates androgens, the male hormones that control oil gland size. Second cofactor, vitamin A. That's the master genetic controller for regulating oil volume. But here's the kicker. Natural vitamin A remains completely biologically inactive unless you have enough zinc to actually transport and utilize it. They are a total package deal.
All right, Section 3, insulin and androgen cascades. Let's look at how this builds into a massive systemic hormonal roadblock when things go south.
When someone's diet is packed with processed junk and sugar, we see this super precise sequential hormonal cascade. It's like a bad line of dominoes. Step 1. Eating refined carbs forcefully spikes insulin. Step 2, that chronically high insulin acts as an aggressive trigger, stimulating the testes or ovaries to overproduce androgens.
Step 3, that surge in hormones essentially forces the sebaceous oil glands in your skin to swell up and pump out this thick, viscous sebum. So yeah, the whole chain reaction starts right with the food on your plate.
Moving on to Section 4, fatty liver and vitamin A. This takes us even deeper into the body, focusing on the organ pathology that's really driving these chronic skin issues.
Okay, so your liver is the primary storage vault for vitamin A, but when you consume excess sugar, it eventually forces the liver to store fat instead, leading to a fatty liver. This accumulation of hepatic fat isn't just sitting there, it acts as a literal physical blockade. It completely paralyzes the body's ability to pull from its vitamin A reserves and utilize this master skin controller. So even if you are eating plenty of vitamin A, a fatty liver stops it from ever reaching the skin. The result? Chronic skin degradation and really poor cellular turnover.
Finally, Section 5, the clinical dietary protocol. Knowing all these mechanisms is fascinating, but it's only half the battle. Now let's talk about how we actually intervene and fix it. Look at how beautifully our clinical interventions map directly onto the biological mechanisms we just talked about. It's a perfect match. To tackle the insulin and androgen vector, which stops those glands from enlarging, we deploy a ketogenic diet combined with intermittent fasting. To get those enzymes firing again and restore calmitic conversion, we intervene with zinc-dense whole foods. And to regulate the sebaceous glands and rebuild the oil gland lining, high-quality cod liver oil is our go-to.
So, on a practical day-to-day level, if you want to effectively eliminate blackheads, you've got to follow this step-by-step restoration protocol to literally turn off that internal fat manufacturing assembly line. Step 1, shift to a ketogenic matrix. By completely cutting out refined sugars and high glycemic carbs, you stabilize your insulin and immediately drop that androgen production. Step 2, aggressively replenish those depleted zinc reserves. And Step 3, bring in that bioavailable cod liver oil to really support and restructure those glands.
By bringing these specific, nutrient-dense whole foods into the mix, we're talking red meat and shellfish for just massive doses of highly bioavailable zinc, plus high-quality cod liver oil for that natural vitamin A, you're giving your body the exact raw materials it needs. It activates the skin's protective conversion enzymes naturally. This lets your skin regulate its oil production cleanly, and you totally bypass the need for powerful synthetic drugs like Accutane. Because let's face it, while Accutane clears acne, it carries some severe toxic side effects for the rest of your body that you really want to avoid.
So I'm going to leave you with this somewhat provocative question as you think about clinical dermatology or even just your own skin health. Are you just reacting to the symptoms and scrubbing away at the surface, or are you actually ready to fix the root cause? True healing, as we've completely mapped out today, absolutely has to begin from the inside out. Once you align your metabolism, your skin simply reflects that internal health. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this changes how you view your skin forever.